Please do not listen to this recording whilst driving or operating any machinery. Hello there, my name is Ellen Booth and I am a registered clinical hypnotherapist. And I want you to know that I myself am also an adult survivor of childhood sexual abuse. Now, this hypnotherapy that I'm going to be doing with you is all about forgiveness. Forgiving the person that abused you, or if it was multiple people, forgiving all of those that abused you. Now, I know that forgiveness is a very hard thing to do because of the suffering and the emotional torture that you have been through ever since. And it is not an easy thing to do, forgiveness, because you have suffered as a result, suffered badly, suffered greatly. Perhaps you have suffered for many years even. And forgiveness for those that have wronged you, I know, is very difficult. And quite frankly, I have not completely forgiven my two abusers in my childhood, as they both got away with it. And ever since, they have both lived their lives to the full. They've gone on and lived their lives happily, probably. They've probably had good lives. And what have I had? Suffering, emotional torture, and not to mention all of the problems that I have had all my life. I'm 45 years old and I've suffered from my earliest memories right up to very recently in my life. And I think to myself that I would have had a shorter sentence if I commit murder, you know. But I've suffered all my life and I'm 45 years old. I'm not young anymore. I'm getting old. And all through my younger years, all through my childhood, all through my late teens, all through my 20s and my 30s and early 40s, I suffered. Lifelong suffering. So I know quite honestly from my own experience that forgiveness is not easy. And especially as my first abuser, he used to laugh in my face because he was getting away with it. The abuser in my early childhood. And my second abuser in my later childhood, who also got away with it. He knew he would get away with it because no one believed me about the first abuser in my early childhood. No one believed me about what he did, and he got away with it. And then in my late childhood, my second abuser, he knew that I wouldn't have a leg to stand on if I told anyone that mattered, if I told anyone in the family, if I went to the police, if I tried to do anything about it. He knew that no one would believe me because I had said it before about the first abuser and I wasn't believed, and he knew that he'd get away with it, and I was vulnerable because of that reason. I was vulnerable after the first lot of abuse because no one believed me. And I was very vulnerable. And my second abuser was in a position of trust. And he totally abused his position of trust. He abused my trust. And he went and abused me as well. And he knew there was nothing I could do about it, because if I told anyone, people would have just said, well, you said it before about this other person, and now you're saying it about this person. And they would have found it too far-fetched to believe. So I was powerless. There was nothing I could do to stop it. I had to endure my fates of what was going on. I had no choice but to endure it. And it was such a huge betrayal of trust the second time round. Because the abuser that did that, he was in a position of trust, and my vulnerability, because I'd been abused before and no one believed me, that vulnerability, that I'd never be able to say it about anyone else ever again because no one would believe that. So I had an extreme injustice throughout my childhood, an extreme injustice, and all through my adult life I've had an extreme injustice. And I haven't forgiven my two abusers, and I know that it's not going to be easy for you to forgive who abused you. But complete forgiveness is something that not only do I need to do, you need to find forgiveness too for those that wronged you. And why, you might ask, why do I need to forgive them for doing something so horrific and something so bad? Why should I forgive them? Well, I'll explain to you why. Forgiveness does not make it okay what they did. Forgiveness does not mean that you would have the abuser back in your life if they are not currently in your life. Forgiveness does not mean that they deserve to be forgiven, because quite frankly, they do not deserve to be forgiven. They deserve to be severely punished. They deserve to have a horrible life. They deserve to be punished with the most extreme torture you could possibly imagine. They deserve nothing. They do not deserve your forgiveness. But what forgiveness means is that you will let go of all of the pain, all of the suffering, all of the anger, resentment, hatred and bitterness in your soul. That's what forgiveness will mean. It will mean that you can let go and begin to move forward with your life. Forgiveness is for your benefit, certainly not for the abuser's benefit at all. You forgive for your healing. You forgive for your recovery. You forgive for your benefit of your well-being. You forgive so that you find peace. You deserve peace. Peace in your soul for what happened to you all of those years ago. So, I'm going to help you find that forgiveness. And It might not be complete forgiveness, but it will certainly be a start. And once you start that process of forgiveness, you work towards finding forgiveness and peace. You work towards it. And hopefully before long, you would have found that complete forgiveness. Forgiveness, the true definition of forgiveness, means to let go of any resentment towards something that someone did. Forgiveness is about letting go and moving on. Forgiveness certainly doesn't mean anything for the abuser. It's all about you, your life, your future. Haven't you not suffered for long enough? You deserve a break. You deserve peace. You deserve a good life. You deserve to be happy. You deserve to move forward. So, I'm now going to begin the hypnotherapy. And I hope sincerely that it really helps you. From the bottom of my heart, from what I went through, I hope that you find that peace. Okay, I shall now begin. If you would like to make yourself comfortable, whether you prefer to sit up and listen or lay down is absolutely fine. But uncrossing any hands, arms, legs or feet. And this is to allow circulation throughout your body when you are deeply relaxed. Now, you will hear many positive healing suggestions throughout the course of this therapy. And you have full control of your own mind and are perfectly entitled to accept or reject any of those suggestions you hear me say to you. But I want you to know that I have your very best interests at heart, and all of those suggestions are there for your recovery. So you can allow all of those suggestions to have full impact, and you can use them as you wish throughout your daily life. And you can allow them to go so deeply in the back of your mind, reprogramming your mind for the better, so that you better and improve your quality of life. Now, just to relax you a little bit more deeply into hypnosis before we make a start with the serious work, just to relax you a bit more, as you cannot go straight into it. We need for you to be a bit more relaxed before we proceed. In a few moments' time, I am going to count down from the number 10 down to the number 1. And with each descending number that I count down, you'll go deeper and deeper relaxed. So physically deeply relaxed in your body, There may be times you do not even feel your body at all, but mentally your mind will be very highly alert, very aware of everything that's going on, and each and every word you hear me say to you. A heightened state of concentration and awareness. So ready, I will now begin to count down from 10 down to 1. 10. Drifting deeper and deeper relaxed. 9. Drifting deeper and deeper relaxed. 8. 7. 6. 5. 4. 3. 2. And 1, and all the way down, deeply, deeply, more deeply relaxed than you were before. And there is nothing of importance for you to do right now other than to listen to the sound of my voice that will go with you wherever you go, however deep you drift. Now, firstly, before we proceed with the therapy about forgiveness, first of all, what we are going to do is develop a very protective barrier around you, your whole body, your whole self, mentally, physically, emotionally and spiritually. We are going to create a protective barrier all around you. Now, in your imagination, I would like you to visualize now that there is a wall starting to build itself and create itself around your whole body. A wall. And what is that wall made out of? Perhaps it's made out of bricks. Perhaps it's made out of glass. Perhaps it's made out of a solid, strong wood. But you begin to build a wall, a thick wall all around you. And as you are building this wall around you that will protect you from anything and everything, emotionally, physically, this wall also must have a good solid door. And that solid door needs to be made out of 12-inch, 1 foot in length of solid, thick glass. You make the door to this wall around you. You make that door out of solid 12-inch thick glass so that you can see through the door at what is outside. So you have a very clear picture and image of what is outside of the door. So this wall that has now developed, that you built around you with the glass solid door, that protective barrier protects you from everything. Nothing can get in to you, and everything and you and everything else is protected on the inside. You are 100% protected. Nothing can harm you, nothing can get in. And you have control of that glass door. And you can open that glass door, that only you have the key to open it. You can open that glass door at any point to allow understanding and new learnings to come in through the door. And when you open that glass door, whenever you need to, you can also open it and throw out all of the rubbish, all of the psychological rubbish, all of the torture, all of the suffering, any unwanted feelings that hold you back. You can open the door and throw them out so they are outside and they'll never come back in ever again. So you can open it to let learnings and positive information come in, and you can also open it and throw out any psychological, emotional feelings, emotions that you no longer wish to have. You are safe in that wall that protects you, and you have full control of what comes in and what goes out by opening and closing the door at any time you wish to. Now, okay, so now we shall work on the next stage, where I shall help you find forgiveness for those that wronged you. Now, you are stood comfortably and safely in your protective barrier, your wall. You are stood up, protected and safe, and you are looking out of the glass door at what is outside. And the person, or the multiple people, if it was more than one person, they have now appeared outside of your protective barrier that protects you from everything. They are stood outside, and you can see them through the glass door. You're perfectly safe. They'll never be able to get in. You're perfectly safe, and will remain perfectly safe throughout the whole process. And the abuser or abusers are stood outside, and you can clearly see them through the glass door. They're stood about 1 metre away outside the glass door, and you're looking at them and you can see them. Now, what I'd like you to do is to look at them, look them in the face. They can see you looking straight at them. They can see you looking straight into their eyes. They can see you. You can see them. And you make eye contact with them right now. And I'd like for you to tell them in a few moments' time. I would like you to tell them and say to them how the abuse that they inflicted upon you has affected you in your life. You tell them how the abuse has affected you. Even if in reality you know they would not care, they could not care less how you suffered. Even if they don't care, and you know they don't care, you tell them how the abuse has affected you. And I'm going to give you a minute of silence to do so from now. Okay. And I hope I gave you long enough to say what you wanted to say to them. Whether you shouted and screamed at them, or whether you said it normally, at a normal tone of voice, but however you told them how what they did has affected you. You get it off your chest, you tell them. If you shout at them, that is fine. If you scream at them, that is fine. If you swear at them, every swear word under the sun, if you feel angry and you feel hatred as you say to them, you do that. You get it out of you, because this is your opportunity to say exactly what you want to say to those that wronged you. In fact, I'm going to give you another minute of silence just to make sure that you say what you want to say to them right now, and I'll give you another minute of silence now. Okay, and I hope you got it off your chest what you wanted to say to them, to that person or those people. I hope you said whatever you want to say to them. Okay, now what we're going to do next, I want you to look them in the eye, look them straight in the eye, and you say to them, now, you repeat the words in your mind after I say these words. I forgive you. I forgive you. Not for you. Not for your benefit. I forgive you for me. I forgive you for all of the years or however long you did what you did to me. I forgive you for all of the abuse that you inflicted upon me. I forgive you. I forgive you for the emotional torture you put me through. I forgive you for the anger you have made me feel ever since. I forgive you for causing my suffering that I have had ever since. I forgive you for what you did. I forgive you for the pain, the suffering that you inflicted upon me. I forgive you. I forgive you for the tears of pain and suffering you caused me. For every time I may or may not have cried, I may have cried and wailed out loud. Perhaps I cried silently in my mind and my soul. Perhaps my tears were undetectable. Perhaps my tears were silent tears. I forgive you for those tears of sadness. I forgive you for the acts of indecency that you inflicted upon me. I forgive you. I forgive you. I forgive you. I forgive you. Not for you. For me. You will get your just deserves. Because if there is a God, you will get your just deserves. You may have got away with what you done, but God will not let you get away with it. I only forgive you because there's something in Christianity that said, I'm not particularly religious myself at all. I'm not religious. But I do believe in God. And my belief about God is that God is the creator and ruler of the universe. That God created the universe, and God controls the universe and is the universe and everything that goes on in the universe. And there's something that's said in Christianity, I forgive others as God forgives me for my sins. No one's perfect. I'm not perfect. And you're not perfect. But I forgive you for what you did to me, as God forgives me for my sins with what I may have done to someone else in my life. I forgive you. Now, You are perfectly protected and safe. And I want you to remain protected and safe inside your barrier. And I want you to say to them, I'm going to put my hand against that glass door that protects me. Put your hand against the glass door and ask the abuser to put their hand against the glass door on the other side that they are. And both of your hands are touching the glass, with the glass in between protecting you, and you put your hand against their hand. And I want you to say, I'm going to shake your hand now. And say, no hard feelings. No more resentment, anger, hatred or bitterness. I forgive you. You shake their hand in your mind, in your head, with your hand against the glass. You imagine that you shake their hand. And you say to them, I'm shaking your hand now, with my hand against the glass. No hard feelings. It's all right. I forgive you, and I'm gonna let it go. Not for you, for me, for my life and my happiness. And you carry on living your life, because your days are numbered. Because if there is a God, when you die, you'll be going straight to hell and God will deal with you. So there. I forgive you. I forgive you. Now, I would like for you to draw a curtain in your imagination over that door. A black curtain. Draw a curtain over the door to block out what is beyond the door, so that you cannot see out of the door anymore. You draw a black curtain across the door, so you no longer see them. Now, I want you to know that that protective barrier that you have around you will always protect you. Will always protect you. And I want you to know that those that wronged you, that were stood on the other side of the door, they have now gone and they're not there anymore. It's just you inside your protective wall. What I'd like you to do now is to open the door slightly and allow to come in all of the learnings and positivity that you have gained. And with the door slightly open, I want you to throw out of the door outside, throw out of the door all of the negativities that you hold, all of the resentment, anger, hatred and bitterness, all of the pain and suffering. You throw it out the door and you close that door safely. That will always protect you. Now, in a few moments' time, I'm going to awaken you and bring you out of this hypnotherapy. But just before I wake you up, I want you to know that your happiness, your well-being, your life is what matters the most. What matters the most is you. And you find that forgiveness for you, for your benefit. You find that forgiveness. Okay. In a few moments' time, I'm going to awaken you. You'll hear me count from 1 to 10. You'll become more and more awake with each ascending number. By the count of 8, you'll open your eyes. And by the count of 10, you'll be fully wide awake. 1, 2, 3, waking yourself up now. 4, 5, 6, more and more awake. 7, 8, opening your eyes. 9 and 10, fully wide awake.